Ladies and gentlemen, when we speak about the future of nations, one truth is undeniable. No country stays at the top forever. History shows us that empires rise and fall, and new powers emerge when they dare to believe in themselves. Today, I stand before you to declare boldly, India has the potential to beat America. Not through war, not through rivalry, but through progress, innovation, and the unstoppable spirit of its people. Let me give you 5 reasons why. India's greatest strength lies in its youth, a demographic advantage that is unmatched anywhere in the world. More than 65% of its population is under the age of 35. And this means that the nation is standing on a reservoir of energy, ambition, and untapped potential. Where many countries, including America, are facing the challenge of an aging population, India is blessed with a young, vibrant society eager to contribute to the future. This youthfulness is not just about numbers, it is about a mindset. Young people are dreamers, risk takers, and creators. They dare to think differently, they dare to break old patterns, and they dare to chase opportunities even when the path seems uncertain. This daring spirit is exactly what propels nations from developing to leading. When you look at America, much of its progress in the 20th century was powered by its younger generations, the inventors, entrepreneurs, and innovators who were not afraid to try and fail. Today, that same spirit is burning bright in India. Across cities, towns, and even villages, young men and women are rising with bold ideas, building startups, entering global markets, and challenging traditional ways of doing business. They are not waiting for someone to hand them success. They are determined to create it with their own hands. Whether it is in the field of artificial intelligence, renewable energy, medicine, or space technology, the youth of India are proving that they are not behind anyone. They are showing that talent, once given opportunity, can outshine even the most established players. The beauty of India's youth is also in its diversity. They come from countless backgrounds, speaking different languages, practicing different cultures, yet all united by the hunger to grow and make a mark. This diversity fuels creativity, and creativity is the engine of innovation. America once benefited from diversity through immigration, but India's diversity is homegrown. It is part of the soil, part of the identity of every Indian. That diversity shapes resilience, adaptability, and the ability to see the world from many angles. In a global economy that values fresh ideas, India's youth hold the key to shaping industries that the world has not even imagined yet. Another important factor is the mindset of responsibility. Many young Indians have grown up witnessing the struggles of their parents and grandparents. They know what poverty looks like. They know what limited opportunities feel like. And this knowledge pushes them harder to rise above and make sure the next generation does not face the same struggles. This sense of responsibility is combined with ambition, creating a generation that is both practical and visionary. While America's youth often inherit stability and wealth, India's youth inherit the hunger to create it. That hunger, that fire, becomes the very fuel that can drive India forward faster than America. In the coming decades, nations with strong and vibrant youth will naturally take the lead in the world. India, with its massive young workforce, entrepreneurial spirit, and relentless ambition, is positioned to turn this demographic advantage into global leadership. India is demonstrating to the world that progress does not always follow the old, expensive, and time-consuming paths. While America built its reputation as a leader in technology through decades of research and heavy investments, India is showing that innovation can also be fast, efficient, and cost-effective. The nation has learned how to leapfrog over outdated systems and move directly into the future. This is evident in multiple sectors, from space exploration to digital finance. There, where India has stunned the world by achieving extraordinary results with limited resources. The Indian model is built on doing more with less, and that approach is proving to be a new kind of strength in the modern age. Consider India's advancements in space technology. The Indian Space Research Organization managed to launch a mission to Mars at a fraction of the cost of what America spent on similar projects. Chandrayaan's success in reaching the moon's south pole, where no other nation had landed before, was another landmark that proved ingenuity and precision can overcome the limits of budget. These achievements tell the world that India does not need to imitate America's path. It is carving its own. Where America often spends billions, India delivers results with creativity and resourcefulness, setting an example for emerging nations everywhere. In the field of digital finance, India has already surpassed much of the developed world. The Unified Payments Interface, UPI, has transformed how millions of people transfer money daily, making cashless transactions fast, simple, and accessible even in remote villages. While America still heavily depends on credit cards and slower banking systems, India has built a digital framework that connects urban centers and rural areas seamlessly. This leap has not only modernized India's financial landscape, but also included millions who were once left out of formal banking. In doing so, India has shown that inclusivity and innovation can go hand in hand. Technology in India is not just about serving the wealthy or elite. It is about reaching the common person. Startups in India are solving problems that are deeply practical, from affordable healthcare solutions to renewable energy alternatives. These young companies are proving that innovation is not limited to Silicon Valley. It can thrive anywhere people are determined to solve real problems. American innovation often focuses on high-end consumer products, but India's solutions are designed to uplift masses of people. That is a different kind of power, one that can create lasting impact on a global scale. The driving force behind this leapfrogging is mindset. Indian scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs are trained to adapt, to work under constraints, and to think creatively when resources are scarce. That mindset is an advantage in today's world, where efficiency and sustainability matter more than extravagance. America's path was built on abundance, but India's path is being built on resilience and necessity. And sometimes, necessity gives birth to greater breakthroughs than comfort ever could. By reimagining technology to suit its own people and conditions, India is proving that it can not only match America in innovation, but in certain areas even move ahead. India's economy is moving with a momentum that is impossible to ignore. For decades, America has stood as the symbol of financial power, with Wall Street representing influence over global markets. But today, a quiet shift is taking place. India is no longer just a participant in the global economy. It is becoming one of the main engines driving it forward. With consistent growth rates, a booming middle class, and rapid urbanization, the country is laying the foundation for economic dominance in the coming decades. Many experts predict that India will soon become the world's third largest economy, and the speed of this rise shows that surpassing even America is no longer unthinkable. One of the greatest forces behind this momentum is the expanding middle class. Millions of Indians are moving out of poverty each year, and with rising incomes comes increased spending power. This growing consumer base is fueling industries from retail to real estate, creating demand that attracts investors from every corner of the globe. America's middle class has long been its strength, but it is shrinking under economic pressures. India, on the other hand, is witnessing a surge in middle class aspirations, which translates into an unstoppable engine of growth. When hundreds of millions of people begin demanding better products, services, and lifestyles, the economy naturally pushes itself to higher levels. India is also becoming a hub for global investment. Multinational corporations that once focused their attention on America and Europe are now turning to India as a market of the future. Manufacturing giants are setting up plants, technology firms are establishing research centers, and investors are pouring billions into Indian startups. This is not only creating jobs, but also strengthening India's position as a global leader in industries such as information technology, pharmaceuticals, and renewable energy. America may still have the largest corporations, but India's entrepreneurial wave is building companies that will soon stand shoulder to shoulder with them. There, the government's focus on infrastructure and digitalization has added further strength to this momentum. Roads, railways, airports, and smart cities are being built at an unprecedented pace, creating opportunities for trade and innovation. Digital initiatives are streamlining businesses and reducing red tape, giving entrepreneurs more freedom to experiment and grow. This blend of physical and digital infrastructure is creating an ecosystem where businesses can scale quickly and reach global markets faster than ever before. What makes India's economic rise even more powerful is its resilience. The country has faced challenges such as inflation, political shifts, and global recessions. Yet it has managed to bounce back stronger each time. Unlike economies that slow down when confronted with adversity, India seems to find ways to adapt and keep moving forward. This adaptability is rooted in the spirit of its people, who are accustomed to finding solutions in the face of difficulty. That resilience becomes a competitive advantage in the unpredictable landscape of global economics. Momentum is a force that builds upon itself, and India's momentum is now unstoppable. While America's economic growth is slowing, India's is accelerating, powered by youth, investment, and ambition. The trajectory is clear. India is positioning itself not only to match, but to surpass America in the race for economic leadership. India's cultural presence is one of its most powerful tools, shaping the hearts and minds of people far beyond its borders. While America has used Hollywood, fast food, and pop music to influence the world, India has been quietly spreading its heritage through film, spirituality, traditions, and philosophy. This influence is not forced but embraced willingly because Indian culture resonates with the deepest human desires for meaning, connection, and joy. Bollywood movies, with their vibrant colors, music, and emotional storytelling, are watched across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and even in Western countries. They present not only entertainment, but also a glimpse into India's values of family, love, and resilience. unlike many Western films that often focus on violence or individualism. Indian cinema celebrates togetherness and emotional depth, offering something the world craves in an age of isolation. Yoga has become one of India's greatest gifts to the modern world. Millions practice yoga every day, from New York to Nairobi, as a path toward peace, health, and inner balance. This is not just exercise, it is philosophy, discipline, and spirituality all woven together. While America exports trends that often fade with time, India offers practices rooted in thousands of years of wisdom that only grow stronger with each passing decade. When a cultural practice not only entertains, but transforms lives, its influence becomes permanent. Yoga, meditation, and Ayurveda are examples of how India's heritage has transcended borders and established itself as part of global living. Spiritual philosophy is another area where India holds unmatched influence. Teachings from the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and other ancient texts are studied by thinkers, leaders, and seekers around the world. These philosophies address timeless questions about life, purpose, and morality, questions that modern science and technology cannot answer. America may dominate in machines and gadgets, but India holds authority in wisdom and self-discovery. The more the world races ahead technologically, the more people turn to India for grounding in spiritual truth. This balance between modernity and timelessness gives India an advantage America cannot replicate. Food is another powerful cultural force. Indian cuisine, with its spices, flavors, and diversity, has spread to every corner of the world. From curry houses in London to street food festivals in Canada, Indian food has become a global favorite. Food is more than nourishment. It is culture made tangible, and through it, India shares warmth, hospitality, and tradition. America's fast food chains may be everywhere, but Indian cuisine offers variety and authenticity that people seek when they want something real. The essence of India's cultural influence lies in its ability to connect both the heart and the soul. While American culture often dominates through mass marketing, Indian culture spiritually through joy, healing, and wisdom. It does not impose itself, but invites others in. That soft power is far stronger in the long run than any movie franchise or brand name. By touching people's lives in such personal and meaningful ways, India builds bonds across the globe that are deeper and longer lasting than America's cultural reach. Resilience has always been one of India's greatest strengths, shaping its people and its destiny in ways few nations can understand. America's story has largely been one of opportunity, immense resources, wealth, and stability. India's story has been one of survival, struggle, and revival. For centuries, India faced colonization, exploitation, poverty, and division, yet through it all, the spirit of its people remained unbroken. This capacity to endure and still rise is what sets India apart. It is easy to thrive when the path is smooth, but to grow stronger while carrying heavy burdens requires a kind of resilience that becomes part of a nation's identity. Generations of Indians have grown up with challenges that could have broken others. Scarcity of resources, political upheavals, and economic limitations. Yet instead of surrendering, the people adapted, innovated, and moved forward. A farmer struggling with unpredictable weather learns to make the most of every harvest. A student in a remote village studies under a street lamp because electricity is not guaranteed. An entrepreneur builds a business with limited capital, but limitless determination. These small stories reflect a larger national character, the refusal to give up. America has produced success through abundance, but India has produced success through perseverance. That difference is crucial in a world where uncertainty has become the norm. History itself shows India's resilience. Colonized for almost 200 years, stripped of wealth and resources, India still emerged with its culture intact and its spirit unshaken. Few nations could withstand such prolonged oppression and still preserve their identity. Yet India not only preserved it, but is now sharing it with the world. This historical resilience has created a collective memory that fuels the confidence of its people. They know that even when circumstances are harsh, they can endure and rebuild. It is a quiet confidence, born not out of privilege, but out of survival. In the modern era, resilience is more valuable than ever. The global economy is unpredictable. Pandemics disrupt lives, and natural crises remind us of our fragility. Nations that rely on stability alone can falter when that stability is shaken. But nations that have been forged in struggle, like India, have the inner strength to adapt and push forward. The ability to thrive under pressure, to innovate under constraint, and to remain hopeful despite hardship is a quality the world increasingly needs. Resilience also brings humility and empathy. A people who have known struggle understand the struggles of others, and this makes India a natural leader in building alliances, offering solutions, and promoting peace. Where America often asserts leadership through power, India has the potential to lead through understanding and compassion, qualities that stem from its lived experience of hardship. This resilience is not just about surviving challenges, but transforming them into stepping stones. Each difficulty India has faced has prepared it for greater achievements. It is the same spirit that drives a young generation today, determined not just to endure, but to excel. That spirit of resilience is what equips India to rise beyond America. For resilience builds a foundation that no storm can destroy. The world is entering an era where leadership is no longer measured only by military strength or economic wealth, but by the ability to inspire, unite, and guide humanity toward a better future. India is uniquely positioned to embody this role because it carries a rare combination of ancient wisdom and modern ambition. Unlike many nations that rely solely on technology or financial influence, India has the ability to lead with both heart and mind. Its traditions emphasize unity in diversity, tolerance, and spiritual grounding there, while its growing industries and technological advancements show its readiness to compete at the highest global level. This balance of past and future makes India not just another rising power, but a nation with the potential to redefine leadership itself. Global leadership requires a vision that goes beyond self-interest. America has long been at the forefront of world affairs, but its leadership has often been questioned for being too focused on dominance and control. India, on the other hand, offers a softer, more inclusive approach. Its philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family, reflects a worldview that resonates deeply in today's interconnected society. In a time when global conflicts, climate challenges, and economic inequalities threaten stability, a nation that believes in collective progress rather than individual supremacy becomes more attractive as a leader. India's culture and values naturally prepare it to offer this kind of guidance. The credibility of leadership also depends on lived experience. India understands poverty, it understands division, and it understands rebuilding. This gives it an authenticity that wealthier nations cannot always claim. When India speaks of growth, peace, or resilience, it speaks from the depth of experience rather than theory. For nations still fighting their own struggles, India becomes a relatable example, a country that proves progress is possible without losing identity. This authenticity makes India's leadership more trustworthy because it is grounded in reality rather than privilege. India's demographic advantage and economic rise add to this leadership potential. A young, dynamic population gives it the workforce and creativity needed to contribute solutions to global challenges. Its growing role in technology, medicine, renewable energy, and space exploration shows that India is not just a participant, but an innovator. The world increasingly looks for nations that can provide practical, affordable, and sustainable answers, and India has already demonstrated its capability in these areas. By offering solutions that are inclusive and efficient, India strengthens its position as a natural leader for the future. The moral dimension of leadership cannot be ignored either. Power alone cannot sustain respect. Nations follow those who inspire, who embody values, and who can envision a better path for everyone. India, with its history of non-violence under Gandhi, its tradition of spirituality, and its emphasis on coexistence, carries a moral weight that America often struggles to project. In a time when humanity is searching for hope and direction, India's voice can rise as one of wisdom and guidance. When you combine experience, diversity, resilience, and ambition, you find the qualities of a leader who does not dominate but uplifts. India's global leadership potential rests on this very combination, and it is this potential that can ultimately allow it to step ahead of America in the decades to come. India stands at the threshold of a new era, carrying within it the seeds of a destiny greater than what the world has yet seen. With the power of its youth, the brilliance of its innovation, the strength of its economy, the magnetism of its culture, the unshakable spirit of its resilience, and the promise of its global leadership, India has every reason to rise beyond America. This is not about rivalry, but about renewal, a chance for the world to witness a nation that blends ancient wisdom with modern ambition. America has written its chapter of greatness, but history is never complete. It always makes room for new voices. India's story is not one of imitation, but of transformation, of turning struggle into strength and vision into victory. The future belongs to those who dare to lead with courage and compassion. And India is ready to do exactly that.